Hey, my name is Lilu, and this week on the Mystic Birb, we will be discussing how embracing the power of the elements can align your energy with your most authentic self. If you're new to pick-a cards or returning, welcome. Feel free to pause if you need more time to pick one of these piles, but we've got pile 1, 2, 3, and 4. Scroll down and you'll find the timestamps in the description below. See you at your reading. Well, hey there, pile 1. Before we get started, I wanted to say something to you that I won't be able to say to any other group for the length of this entire channel. And I wanted to say, really cool to be here with you guys. You were my very first long-form pick-a-pile reading on this channel. So let's do this. How you can get in touch with the elements to get in alignment with your most authentic self. But before we dive into this reading, and I really cannot wait because these cards are juicy, I wanted to let you know that you can find more pick-a-card readings all about embracing the elements throughout the week on this channel. So be sure to like and subscribe if you want that content pushed your way. All right, so let's get into this. I'm going to put these oracle cards aside and shuffle real quick for these cards, and we will talk about it in just a second. Okay, group 1, this is some heavy Chevy we got going on here. I'm first going to tell you kind of what all these cards mean, and then we will flip over the rest of the cards. And this is like where all the healing is happening. This is how to ground the energies, how to use these elements to really get rid of the anxieties and the things that have been burdening you so that you can be your most authentic self effortlessly. So let's dive into it. I think the most important thing, since we are here in a spiritual place, is to open the door to our spiritual team. And we've got the Page of Wands, which kind of gave me the vibe of you need to start believing in magic and believe that you can do whatever it is that you want for yourself. You can achieve those things. You can manifest the things you want. And I really feel like you've been told a lot that you have to suffer in order to gain. I don't think that your spiritual team wants that for you. They don't want you to feel alone. They want you to feel connected. They want you to feel like you are going to have every opportunity that you need in life to grow and thrive. So you need to believe in magic. You need to believe that they're there. Believe that there is a higher energy trying to assist you at your best life. 10 of Swords. Now this card is probably one of my favorites in the tarot deck because it tells us we are done with doing the same routine. We have learned that going through these motions, giving our hearts to this type of person is not going to benefit us in any way. It's going to leave us in heartbreak and darkness, and you don't deserve that. This is interesting to me because this came out in the grounding placement, and you need to be grounding this energy that you've subconsciously learned from the community. So I see this as you've been told that sometimes in order to be great, you have to do really, really hard things, or you have to sacrifice something in order to have good stuff come your way. Honestly, I really believe it's more a energy that you put out into the world comes back to you. So what are you doing for others to help them succeed? And are you also using your voice to ask for the things that you need in this life? Because those you help are more inclined to help those who help them, if that makes sense. Okay, let's continue down this road. Let's talk about the 5 elements. So here we have earth, wind, fire, water, and the 5th element, you. As far as Earth goes, this is how to focus your energy for material gain. As I mentioned before, it's kind of like you have been telling yourself that you have to sacrifice a lot, all the blood, sweat, and tears in order to succeed in life. And I really think that you need to recall your energy here. You need to remind yourself that you shouldn't have to give the skin off your own back in order to make anybody else's pockets thicker. All right? You deserve to reap the benefits of the harvest that you sowed. So don't forget that. And this is Virgo energy, so that's extremely grounding as well. Take time to analyze what you have been giving away to others and how can you apply that towards yourself. The most valuable love is self-love. All right, Wind. Where are your thoughts going? I'm really feeling like you are in conservation mode. Like you are counting the pennies. You are making sure that the pantry is completely inventoried and you know what you have. You're not in the place of where you can willingly give your energy or your thoughts to others at this time because you recognize that you are in need of something, whether it's money, which the pentacles kind of imply monetary things or material things, or thoughts. You need to really be putting your thoughts and energy into your own life goals, not somebody else's. And if you are giving all your energy to help somebody else succeed, when do you have time for yourself? So think about that, group one. This one is for fire. Where's your energy going? Ace of Swords. Now that's all about a new idea that has you really excited. You're ready to just rush right into it. Swords out, right? I just kind of get the vibe that you have been going, you've been grinding. Maybe you are living paycheck to paycheck and you are just working for the first job that you could find that is going to at least pay the bills. That's awesome. But let's dust off that resume. Let's sit down and decide what we want for ourselves, okay? And when you've decided exactly what you want for yourself, use that energy. Go full force into it. But are you doing this for yourself or someone else? Because you got magic. You just have to believe you have magic. And you have magic that you should be able to benefit from on your own, not just give it away to other people. I'm not saying just stop working for other people. That's not necessarily what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if you work a job that is requiring you to work 16 hours a day and they're paying you minimum wage, you need to find a better job so you can spend your energy manifesting the things that you want for yourself in life instead of grinding for pennies for somebody who's just taking advantage of you. All right. So now this one is skipping it. We've got water. What are your emotions telling you? 9 of Swords, babe, you're so anxious. And that breaks my heart. What are all these things that are making you anxious? I don't recommend sitting down and writing this list alone. Maybe if you have somebody you can trust that you are able to talk to about things and they will be non-judgmental, they can help you work through what anxieties are real versus what is fabricated. Because I need to remind you that the worst bully that will ever exist in your life is that nagging little voice in your head. So keep that in mind, and reach out to friends, talk to them, see how you can really release these anxieties surrounding this. Because the 4 of Coins, the 10 of Swords, and the 9 of Swords, it just feels like you are someone that has all of this energy and all of these incredible ideas, and you're spending all of your time hustling for something that's not that at all, and it's leaving you feeling kind of depleted and like, well, what about me? And you deserve to feel that, but let's act on it, okay? Let's act on it. The devil. You're the devil. In this situation, you are the devil. And it is fan-freaking-tastic. I am here for this. I love the devil card. The devil's my homie. Especially when you consider his whole thing in this reality is to embrace your independence. You know, mind your own business, harm none, do as you will kind of thing. I think you really need to evaluate these things that you want for yourself. Are they harming anybody if you achieve them? No? Fucking go for it. If somebody else is creating goals for themselves that you are an innocent bystander who gets wrecked in this, you don't need to be helping them, bro. You don't need to be helping them, all right? I can think of a few billionaires we don't need to be helping right now. Don't help them. Trust in yourself. Believe in yourself. You have all the power, because if you believe in a God and this God created everything in his likeness, bro, you got the same amount of power, right? Just a thought. All right, let's get to these last cards. This is where the real healing begins. Okay, so friends, how to ground your energy for maximum growth. Bro, what was I just saying about believing in yourself and understanding that you have the ability to achieve the things that you want? You just have to use your own energy for you, right? The Emperor is all about taking the lead, being confident, understanding that you can achieve the things you put your mind to. You do have to work for it, but it shouldn't feel like a sacrifice, all right? You are the boss. And see, the thing here, we see compassion crossed out. A good leader, a good emperor has an understanding of what their community needs around them, right? So that does take a little bit of compassion. It's not as like, oh, let me embrace you, child, like the Empress is, but you have to be understanding. So just really take that time, embrace the devil, baby, and believe in yourself. Believe that you're worthy of using your energy on you. You're not here to live for somebody else, bro. You're just not. Okay, we're talking about burning it. We are going to use this energy in accordance with your highest self. 3 of Cups. What kind of community are you trying to build? 3 of Cups is your soul people, right? Your family or relationships or best friends that inspire you, and you can just be yourself around them. I really see you using your energy to create that environment for yourself and finding more devils just like you to play with and practice magic. Whoo, hail Satan. Oh, okay. But you are using your energy to create a group of friends or connections that will hopefully last a lifetime. And I couldn't ask for anything else for you. All right, so let's see. Forgiving it. Release what is binding your thoughts. We have the Hierophant in reverse. So this kind of goes back to the 10 of Swords energy that I was telling you about earlier. And I just picture, I forget what it's called, but it's where somebody is providing punishment to themselves for the sake of their God. And I just get the vibe that you did not have a good experience with the church, but you definitely had church in your past. And like 10 and 5, right? So I think that it's something you need to really process and let go of, and forgive the church for not knowing any better on how to accept you for who you are. Because it's just a bunch of scared people looking for an answer in a book. All right? They're just looking for an answer from somebody else instead of believing that they've got it within themselves to achieve these things that they need to achieve or to process these emotions that are overwhelming them. Forgive the church. They didn't know any better, but you do. And we're going to get you there, right? So now it's time to release it. You're going to part ways with these energies that have been leaving you feeling abandoned and used. We've got the 7 of Pentacles in reverse. And I just have to tell you guys that this deck, this big beefy deck, like, okay, so this is 2 decks. I almost dropped it everywhere, but this is 2 decks, right? It's entirely upright. But these 2 cards, these last ones came out in reverse, and I think that speaks volumes, okay? You need to forgive yourself for wanting to walk away from the church. You may have spent your entire life in this community, and it may not be a church. It may just be a community, okay? Or an environment in which you've spent a lot of time in and you found a support group. Don't beat yourself up for walking away from this. If people can't give you space to be your most authentic self without judgment, you don't need them in your life. So it's time to release it. And the way I like to release energy and emotions is shower rituals. As you're taking a shower, I usually do it with candle lit and it's nice and dark. You suds yourself up, and as the water rinses you off, your emotions go down the drain. And you visualize this and you say goodbye to all of these things that have been weighing you down. Because you know what? You deserve it. You deserve to use your energy to manifest the person you want to be, right? That's kind of the goal in life. Be the person you want to be. You deserve it. Finally, I'm going to leave you on this last note. It is an act of love. Why does it matter what they think of your partner? It's your relationship. Now, your partner can be your community, it could be a church, it could be a literal partner. But this kind of just goes with everything we've said already. Who gives a flying fuck what they have to say about your life? It's your life. You deserve to live it how you want. Embrace the devil, baby. All right, thank you so much for watching Group 1. If you liked this reading, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and we will have Connecting with the Elements content all week. So I'll see ya. Well, hey there, Group 2. How you doing? I'm so excited to get into this reading for you guys. We are going to be discussing how you can embrace the elements to get in alignment with your highest self. But before we do that, I did want to remind you that throughout the week, I will be posting other pick a card content all on embracing the elements. So if you want even more, feel free to check that out. You can get it pushed to your feed just by subscribing and ringing that bell. So let's get into this reading. I've pulled some cards already. We'll get into those in just a minute. Just gonna shuffle this little baby real quick, and then we will talk about what all of these cards mean. Okay, pile 2. Let's see if I can say all of this without getting tongue-tied. Fat chance. All right, so first, let's talk about what all of these little but potent cards mean. For the elements, we have earth, wind, fire, water, and the 5th element of self. But before we get into any of that, we are going to be discussing how you can open the door to your spiritual team. Don't laugh, but you need to embrace Satan. I'm kidding. But you do need to really believe in yourself and maybe explore some of those things that have tempted you, things that you kind of talked yourself out of, that you thought were crazy or that you thought would be taboo and looked down on by the people you know. who the fuck cares what they think, right? That's what the devil says, is like, do as you wish as long as you don't harm others. So I really think maybe spending more time in nature, spending more time doing the things that you do in the shadows. There's a reason why you are drawn to that, okay? And your spirit team wants you to kind of analyze that and not judge yourself for it. Understand why these behaviors exist to begin with. And in doing that, also remind yourself that you're not alone to process heavy things. You have a spiritual team on your side. Grounding toxic behaviors that are subconsciously learned from community. The Magician. I think of Smoke and Mirrors, Wizard of Oz, fake it till you make it culture, right? Time to part ways with that behavior because it's not doing anybody any good. And you see it all over social media, a bunch of people who have these fake wonderful lives, and then you find out that they're really just struggling inside. It's okay to struggle. It's okay to admit to yourself when you're having a hard time, and even use that energy to level the fuck up. All right. Hard things, they turn us into better versions of ourselves if we are willing and able to pay attention to the lessons that we have received during those hard times. As far as how to focus your energy for material gain, I kind of giggled that this was the card that we pulled because Page of Coins is all about balance. In order to achieve things that you're working on, you have to find balance, and you can't just go full send into a project or full send into making money. We just aren't built for that. We're not machines. So you need to really give yourself time to embrace balance. I'm a workaholic, so even in my off time, I'm always thinking about other things I could be doing. But I reach these points where I just kind of burn out. And I feel like you might do that same cycle. And in those burnout moments, I don't know about you, but I myself am like, I don't ever want to do this again. I am totally over it, even if it was my favorite thing. So, work on that balance. See how you can delegate some of it to other people. Like, do you have friends who would like to help you? Do you have any skills that you can utilize that will make your job easier? That kind of stuff. But let's see. Your thoughts. This breaks my little birdie heart. We got a crying Birb. I feel like you've had some hardships that have been weighing you down mentally, whether that's relationship loss or you have just experienced, lack or just struggles, the heavy feels. If you've been experiencing that, I understand. We all go through it. Life is a bunch of highs and lows, but I highly recommend that you start processing these thoughts and start letting them go. If you have just recently come out of a relationship or lost somebody that you loved or a job that you love or a home that you love, take the time to talk to people that you trust and confide in and who can offer compassion towards your experience in life, because it's valid. It is. And sometimes shit just hurts. But these experiences teach us things. Like when a relationship ends, it ends for a reason. What are those reasons? Yes, there's a lot of good things that happen. That's how you got tricked into being in a relationship in the first place. But it's good to remind yourself of both, so that you don't sit here and just wallow in it and tell yourself that life will never be that good again, because it's all in the mindset. Speaking of mindset, I thought this was interesting. So this one is for where your energy is going. And this is the Page of Swords, which is also about thought. Well, Page of Swords, they love to learn. They love knowledge. Knowledge is power, but knowledge can also cause anxiety. Just think of the news. I mean, depending on where you live in the world, the news could be good or bad, real or fake. But I think that you are walking that tightrope in between wanting to learn and being overwhelmed by the knowledge that you're learning. Feel free to take a break. Just relax. It's all going to be okay. This is going to pass. And you're anxious because you see the potential in your greatness, but you can also see the potential in failing. Forget that last part. All right? I mean, you don't need to worry about failing unless you do fail. And then at that point, well, shit, right? We all make mistakes. We're human. But the water in us, your emotions, what are they telling you? For me, I see this as Four of Swords. It's like you need a rest. It's that calm in between the battles, and you need to allow yourself to wind down. This energy is really taking a lot from you, and you just need to know you fought a good fight, right? You were there. You showed up. Things happened. You learned. You definitely learned from it. So how can you apply that energy into a better round next time? You can't do anything unless you recharge. So allow yourself that downtime. Allow yourself just the little lull. But don't forget yourself. Here we have supporting your independence, which is the Queen of Wands. It's basically magic herself, right? She just walked in the building with her little cat. We're gonna just mess it up. I really need you to remember that you're a badass. And that's the last time I'm gonna say this. Well, maybe not. We've got more cards. But you're a badass. And I think you need to have that time to yourself to remember who the fuck you are. All right? So let's get into these cards. These are the real deal healing. So this is like how to take all of these energies and utilize them to get in alignment with your most authentic self. We're going to save this baby for last, but let's get into this. Okay, so how to ground your energy for maximum growth. High Priestess. I feel like you already know. This card's all about intuition, the quiet knowing, the tapped in feeling. Like you just have that little tingle in the back of your neck that tells you, you know, this is not for me, or that is definitely something that's going to happen for me in my life. You just got to trust it, okay? You have to ground the anxiety and just trust it. Burning it up, using the energy to act in accordance with your highest self. So sure, this is death, but this is also a rebirth. And this, I think, is your rebirth. I see you as somebody who's not going to be playing the fake it till you make it game. I think you are somebody who understands that in order to be a beautiful butterfly, you have to be a disgusting caterpillar first, right? So we all do things that we're not proud of. We all go through experiences that are not fun, but it's all so that we can spread our wings and fly and follow the path that we were meant to be on. Kaboom. So for this one, this is all about forgiving it. Release what is binding your thoughts. Six of Swords. That I always see as the light at the end of the tunnel, like the safe site, the evacuation zone that you go to, which, you know, they're probably on their way to. I think that you really need to let this heartache just go. Just let it go. I know that sounds... I know I'm saying that like it's nothing, It's not nothing. It takes me years to get over a broken heart. But there is a light at the end of the tunnel. There are other people. Shit, there's 8 billion of us on the planet. You are just in this stage. This is not your life. All right? Releasing it. Parting ways with the energies, leaving you feeling abandoned and used. Got the Hermit, and you can see she's got, takeout, she's got tissues, watching a show. This just gives me that vibe of you gotta take care of yourself. You really have to wind down and process the hard times. And, sometimes we disassociate because the stuff we're dealing with in our lives are too heavy for our brain to dissect all at once. There's nothing wrong with taking time, but do not just brush it under the rug. You can't do that. That's not how things work, right? And also, don't hold on to this pain and make this pain your story. Don't make this heartbreak the only tale you're ever going to tell. You don't deserve that. So take the time to yourself. Hermit mode, right? That's, pulling within and conserving your energy and analyzing what about the situation was really hard for you to digest and that ended up in parting ways to begin with. Or, if you lost somebody and you'll never see them again. Process those feelings. Sometimes we need to just go through that hermit mode. We have to hibernate so that we can come out next spring and be ready to rumble. All right. Finally, I'm going to leave you on this last note. This is a bold act of self-love. Enjoy the here and now because everything ends eventually. Death. You have a lot of death going on. It just really makes me think that you lost somebody. I'm trying not to cry right now. It's going to be okay. All right, group 2, it really will be. I know right now it probably hurts like hell. And you might want to fake it. You might want to fake that you don't hurt. But it's okay. It's okay to be a little bit vulnerable sometimes. And it's okay to lean on others when you need it. But just remember, the energy you put out into the world, it'll come back to you. So treat others like how you want to be treated. Be there for others when you'd want somebody there for you in the same situation. All right, that's what I've got for you, group 2. Thanks for joining. If you would like more content, remember to check back in. I'll be posting all week all about embracing the elements. And group 2, super big hug to you. All right, you take it easy. We'll see you next time. Well, hey there, group 3. Are you guys ready to figure out why embracing the power of the elements will help you align with your most authentic self? That was a mouthful. I promise I won't be as graceful from here on out, so not to build up any false hope, but yeah, we're gonna get into this reading. I just wanted to let you guys know that throughout the week there are going to be many more pick a cards all about embracing the elements, so be sure to check back, subscribe if you like that stuff pushed into your feed. But right now we're gonna get into this reading, so I'm gonna shuffle and we'll be right back. Okay, so let's get into this group 3. First off, when are we hanging out? Because I love this energy. This is dope. Okay, we're gonna go through some kind of like therapy over here, and then these are the elements, including the 5th one, which is self. And then we will get into the rest of the cards. This is where the real healing is going to be happening. It's going to kind of focus on how to ground all of these energies using the elements. So I'm looking forward to getting into that. But let's talk. So how to open the door for your spirit team. You have Six of Wands and Page of Coins. And this Six of Wands especially is like all about accomplishments that you are achieving for yourself. I don't know if you just heard my dog just now. She says go you. But yeah, this is all about achieving success in personal goals. And maybe you don't have a bunch of people like cheering you on. In this case, you see all the flagpoles. I just get this vibe of like soldiers coming home from the war, and the town is, celebrating their homecoming. I get that vibe that you are probably already connected to your spiritual team, especially with the Page of Coins, which is about balance. I just think you just need to keep riding that wave. I know there's not really much to give you on this, but yeah, just believe in yourself. The second you start doubting yourself, your spiritual team is like, yo, no, what do you do to write this? I actually was watching something today, and it was somebody singing a song about being anxious in the morning, and instead of doing the things they need to do, they do the things that is only going to fuel the anxiety. This is that check-in. When you start to feel yourself wanting to do the things that cause your anxiety spirals, Spirit's like, yo, balance is everything. Go take care of yourself. Self-care is extremely important. And nobody's going to cheer you on for brushing your teeth at age 30, but good job, you did it. Give yourself a pat on the back kind of vibes, So when you do notice those anxiety spirals happen, stop yourself. Like, what am I doing? I'm safe. This isn't a reality. So there's that. Grounding toxic behaviors that you've subconsciously learned through your community. I thought this was a really interesting combo. You've got the Knight of Swords, which is all about, taking action, swift action on thoughts that you have. Ace of Coins is about new money-making opportunities or new ideas for material gain. I view you as somebody who just really goes for it, which is great. But I think that maybe more commitment is needed on these projects. Like, you're probably somebody who has a lot of great ideas that could be incredible ventures for, travel or work or whatever the project is. It's something close to your heart, and as soon as you have these ideas, you just go full force. You get kind of obsessive about these ideas. And, Spirit says that's cool, but remember balance, because burnout's not fun. This is actually for the Earth placement, which 10 of Wands is all about burning out, staying focused at the very final yard so that you can get that touchdown. You could use a little bit more time management, I guess, is what I'm seeing for this right here, because it's incredible to be able to summon this kind of passion and commitment towards stuff. But you have to be able to balance it out so that you can take time for yourself, because it is important to be able to pay for your lifestyle, to be able to be self-sufficient and that kind of thing, which you have that energy. You've kind of told yourself, like, if I can't pay for myself, I'm not a successful human being. But this doesn't mean that you need to dive full force into hustle culture and never take a break, because working 23 hours of the day is going to kill you faster than anything. So take time to relax. Take time to just ground and find that balance. Go for a walk. If that's not available to you because weather conditions or where you live, you can always just sit on your floor. I know that sounds kind of silly, but just sit. just relax and close your eyes, taking a minute just to try to calm your thoughts. Because if you don't do that, you're just going to be rapid fire. Go, go, go. Got to do this. Got to add this to the list. Blah, 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 blah. And then pretty soon, you're nothing but your project. And there's a human in there too. So don't forget that. Don't let yourself go full burnout. I say that seeing this card, I feel so much stubbornness, right? Like, you are going to make it. You're going to get there. But you do have to stop to graze periodically. You do have to stop to refuel. Don't forget that. Okay, so where are your thoughts going? Dude, you're playing 5D chess. We got the King of Swords here, which is somebody who's always strategizing, a good leader, not only an entrepreneur, but somebody who's able to make a business out of nothing and make it extremely successful. You know, you're that kind of energy. That's the thing you're kind of trying to achieve for yourself right now. And I just go back to remembering balance, okay? And you might be one of those people where the job that you have makes you extremely happy and it doesn't feel like it's work. Good on you. That's awesome. But remember that more experiences in your life is going to give you more insight, which will be able to be translated into something that's going to make your work efforts that much more interesting from an outside perspective. Which, if you're trying to make money, you want people to be interested in your story too. Let's just admit this. This is something about our society now. Businesses are very personal, so don't forget to be your own person, all right? We've got fire. Where's your energy going? 8 of coins. That's the workaholic of the deck. It's just somebody, this is a clocksmith, and they're just working constantly, keeping the gears turning, keeping everything oiled, just one foot after the next in regards to making material gains. That is awesome. That is a lot of energy, and it just tracks with everything else that we've got here. But like, what's fun for you? Will you leave a comment? Let me know if like work is actually legit fun for you, because I'm happy for you if that's the case. But like, what is fun for you? We have water, what your emotions are telling you. Strength. That is Leo fire energy. And I think of the fire placement here, of course. I just really see you constantly telling yourself that burnout isn't real. You're a strong person. You have the strength to do whatever it is you have your mind set on at this current time in your life. And you are going to brute through, and that's fine. But remember, there's a softer side to strength too. It is having some empathy, even if it's an inconvenience, or, helping somebody out when you may not have all the right tools, but you know that just having an extra set of hands is really going to change the situation. You need to use your inner strength to put down boundaries. And I'm seeing so much like, Virgo and Sagittarian energy in this. So let me know if those are placements for you, because yeah, we've got that. And then the self, how to support your independence. 5 of Wands. I think it's interesting that most of this was all about work. And 5 of Wands is about having competition, either like in a work environment or a kind of friend environment, or just, out in the world where there's conflict of a bunch of people trying to get the same resource, whether that's a job, a item in a store, doesn't matter. But you've got a lot of that going on. And 5 is all about change, which is like, change the perspective. Do you have to fight over that thing that everybody's fighting over? Or can you follow that idea and do something completely different that just blows everybody out of the water? Also, are you even really on that same level with everybody who's competing there? Like, don't stress just because there's a lot of people that say that they're going to do the same thing that you're trying to do, because I have news for you. You have work ethic like I've not seen. This is insane. Capricorn too, you know, like Knight of Swords, King of Swords. That's very Capricornian energy. Eight of Coins. You stand out from the crowd. You're different. You're something that people are looking for. But it's because you went after those things that you wanted for yourself and you constantly pushed yourself. I see you as one of those study-holic kind of personalities. Remember to breathe. King of Swords in a different deck that I have, he's pictured as somebody cool, calm, collected, chilling on the top of a mountain with flags and birds all around. If you know the deck I'm talking about, leave a comment. But it's just this person who's just above it all. Like, I don't need to worry about your problems trying to knock me off my throne, because you and I aren't even of the same, like, country, like, let alone class. Like, you're not even in the same country. Don't even worry about this. That's the kind of vibe I get. You're not here fighting for that same job. You're getting something all your own. You're chasing after your own bag. All right, so we did talk about that super healing medicine. This one we're saving for last. It is an unapologetic act of self-love. So we'll get to that one last, but let's talk about this. Grounding it. How to ground your energy for maximum growth. 3 of Swords. Ooh. Well, that's interesting. Are you working super hard to distract yourself from a broken heart? Because if that's the case, there's a few picket cards that I recorded on the elements. I forget which one it was, but there's more information on that for you. But yeah, I get this feeling like maybe you've lost something, and to distract yourself, you dive into work. And this could be something that you have learned from people in your life, that's a good coping mechanism, is to kind of tune out the world and tune out the broken heart just by focusing on work. You have to ground this energy. This is the thing that you need to start, like, balancing. If it's talking to a friend and while you're having coffee, or if it's speaking to a therapist, if it's journaling, if it's going for that walk that we talked about, you need to process these feelings, because they're only going to follow you around. And why prematurely age yourself, or why hold on to these things that were just so hard to go through the first time? We don't need to be haunted by our past in that way. This is something that you can definitely process, whether it's even a support group or a documentary on that said topic, anything to understand that you're not alone in this feeling, and that it's okay that you went through this, but it's also okay to call on your own strength and not let that define you anymore. All right. Okay, so we have burn it. Use this energy to act in accordance with your highest self. 1 of Cups in reverse. But I think this is super interesting. We have Lucy. 1 of Cups is usually about, you have to pay into yourself before you can pay into others, right? And I get this feeling that you haven't even been paying attention to your damn cup. Like, okay, usually you see it depicted as a hand holding a cup and water's flowing out of the cup and onto or into a lake or something below. You're not even paying any attention to the cup. You're just like, not gonna deal with that. I'm in work mode right now, and that's all we're doing. But I think that you kind of have to start paying attention to your cup. You have to fill it up. You're eventually going to get thirsty. So instead of making these same mistakes twice, analyze why you've been avoiding it. What is it that's got you so afraid? And are you afraid of going down that road again, of making connections with people that really matter to you, for fear of losing them? Because that's a real fear, and that's totally valid. But also, you're worth having really strong connections with outside of work. So now we have forgive it. Release what is binding your thoughts. Whew. Chariot in reverse. Get the fuck out of here. And it's in reverse, right? So it's like you've really been lingering on this. You've really been lingering on this. I think it's time to write it down. Take the journal somewhere safe that you can burn it and take care of this. Because if you continue to bottle this up and keep it inside, you're gonna start acting a little crazy, and everybody's gonna be like, oh my god, did you seriously just do that? Like, calm down. You're really worth releasing this. So releasing it, parting ways with energies, leaving you feeling abandoned and used. 10 of Pentacles in reverse. So 10 of Pentacles upright is usually about like that generational wealth, family success. You've got multiple generations in a household celebrating together. Just like long-term success and wellness is usually what I get from this. And I feel like you had to walk away from a relationship, or a relationship got cut short too soon. And because of that, you are in a state of, well, this could have happened. What if this had happened? What if we had gotten to do this? Oh my gosh, we never got to do this. I'll never be able to do that. All of this stuff. And I think it's time to really mourn what happened. And maybe that's the grounding. Maybe it's doing a releasing ritual where you write what you feel about this situation on a piece of paper. And you can either put it in a fire-safe bowl or over water, and you burn that piece of paper. And then you can take the ash from it. If it's in the water, it might be kind of damp, but you can also just take the water and you put it in a bottle. And then you're going to seal that bottle and take it someplace that you feel really connected to the earth, and you would bury it. Of course, do not do this in any national forests or wildlife reserves. Someplace that won't be disturbed, but is also, safe for the environment. Even if you do it in, say, an environmentally friendly container that is going to break down over time, that might be the best option. Let's do that. Eco-friendly witching, yes. But you would want to allow that energy to be released and absorbed into the earth, because that is going to feed and fuel the next phase. So you're ready for that next phase. Finally, an unapologetic act of self-love. Sometimes the power play is silence, observations. Okay. Almost feels bad talking after that, but I'm really thinking that you do need to take the time to ground your energy, meditate, step away from work for just a little bit, and even dissect why you push yourself to work so much. Is it bringing you joy? If it's not, is there another way to go about it? That is the message I have for you, Group 3. As I mentioned before, there was something that came up that made me think of one of the shorts for the pick cards that I filmed for this week. So do subscribe so you can check that out. And we will see you next time. Bye. Well, hey there, Group 4. We are going to be diving into this reading all about embracing the power of the elements and how you can harness that energy to get in alignment with your most authentic self. Before we get into it, these are cards that we will be using for like super in-depth healing. But I did want to say for the rest of this week, we will be posting content all about embracing the elements. So there's going to be tons of pick a cards this week. So be sure to like and subscribe if you like that kind of content, and leave a comment below if this reading resonates with you. So let's get into it. I'm going to shuffle real quick and then we'll be right back. Okay, group 4. So, I am feeling a lot of relationship vibes. So, if that's not what you're looking for, or if that's not what is going on with you right now, feel free to go back and pick a different pile. I don't know why I feel compelled to say this, but yeah. So, and I think it's gonna be of the more adult nature. So be prepared for that. If yeah, little kids in the room. Anyway, um, so Ether, how to open the door for your spirit team. We've got 3 of Wands. In one of my other decks, this is actually depicted as 3 sticks in the middle of the card, and in the middle of the sticks you can see the Milky Way and what feels like a sandy beach, and it's just like, it just gives you that vibe of adventure awaits. Your spirit team needs you to believe that, yeah, adventure awaits. Anything is possible. You can have a completely different reality than the one you're currently living in. You just have to open up. You have to be willing to accept that that is a possibility. You're not stuck in this pattern. Grounding the toxic behaviors that have subconsciously been learned from your community. 10 of Swords. This paired with the Devil placement, which is air, where your thoughts are going. I'm really getting the vibe that there has been some dishonesty in a relationship, and you are really telling yourself things like, well, this happens in everybody's relationship, so of course this would happen to me, and I just kind of have to accept this, and that's that. Or maybe you were the one who did a discretion, and you're kind of saying, like, you don't deserve good things, you don't deserve a relationship that's going to work out, or you're always going to be like this, or you're broken. Those kind of internal narratives. These are things that we need to ground. Why do you feel this way? What are your justifications? And ask yourself your reasoning for every single thought that comes through your head to tell you that you're not worthy of something authentic and pure. Because it's just really how this feels. It's like feeling that brokenness, feeling that just like the last sword in your back, and that's it. There's no going back, right? And that's another vibe that I'm getting here too, is like, it's at that point where you can decide either change your life forever and never go back to the way it was, or you're going to stay in this energy and you're just going to wallow in it. Don't do that, okay? You don't need to do that. This is for Earth. How to focus your energy for material gain. See this little birdie putting a coin into this flower cup? I really get the feeling that you need to be paying into yourself, and not just materially, emotionally. You need to tell yourself that you're worthy. You deserve to be respected. You deserve to have second chances, because we're all human. You deserve to believe in yourself that you can do better, or that you can find somebody who's going to treat you better. You also need to understand that you are organic, and you are of organic material, unless you are an AI. In that case, hello. But you have the ability to heal, right? And so you are not broken. You may be changed. You may never be as innocent as you once were, because you are no longer naive to the way of the world. But you're not broken. You're just adapting, okay? So let's see. Let's talk about where your thoughts are going. We have the Devil, which is about temptation, addiction, acting deceitfully, or being tempted by something. It's also about mental health, like OCD, anxiety, depression, all of these things that in the moment we can't really see a way out of. or they're kind of the shadow sides of our personality, that we behave certain ways because we either have a reason for it or an interest in that. And the devil card is really what makes me kind of feel like maybe it's somebody who has never cheated on somebody, but they've been tempted to. They've really fallen into infatuation. They're really infatuated by somebody else, or they really want to change things up, or the relationship's not going well. And these thoughts come back, and they're not really exactly who they are outwardly, but these are things that they've thought about a lot. And it may be overcoming them. And to the point of where you can't forgive yourself, and because you're having these thoughts so much, you might as well just act on them. Now, don't tell yourself that. Just because you're having thoughts doesn't mean that is exactly who you are. We are brainwashed daily by media. So it's best to dissect those thoughts. And I would dare say under the guidance of a professional, because there's just so much to the brain, and thought processes and stuff. But you can have thoughts and they are not you, if that makes sense. So yeah, that kind of was like a side rant, but I'm just seeing that these anxieties or these focuses are really taking you out of a centered and well-balanced space. And I think that you are starting to really want to apply the energy to change it, because we've got the Two of Wands, which is like really standing in that place, that moment of decision. Are you going to go left or right at the fork in the road? Are you going to continue diving down these thoughts until you take action in a way that you're going to regret later? Or are you going to talk to somebody about it, be honest with somebody, open up and see where it takes you? In the case of somebody stepping outside of the relationship and not being honest, right? You never know what your partner is going to say about the situation if you come to them before you've taken any action to be entirely ashamed of, without the deceit. You go up to somebody. I myself am polyamorous, so this is a conversation I've had plenty of times, is where, hey, I really like you. My feelings for you are super deep, but I also have feelings for this other person. That doesn't mean that I like you any less or anything like that. And it doesn't mean that I want you all to myself. If you like somebody else too, let's communicate. Let's see where our boundaries are. You never know. That could be your conversation. But if you cheat, you break the trust. You never get that back. Ever. Ever. You never get that back. So instead of lying and continuing to break trust, have a little bit of bravery. And it might be the other way around. Like, you may be afraid of infidelity. Like, you might be afraid of your partner cheating on you and you not being able to trust them. You need to really set boundaries with your own mental space, as well as have a very healthy and open communication channel with your partner. Because it may be a thing of you have to have that awkward conversation with them where they're the ones telling you that, hey, I love you, but I also am interested in somebody else. That doesn't mean I love you less, or blah, 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 the whole thing. But that's what life is experiencing different things that you never thought you were going to be experiencing. You deny yourself opportunities for growth if you don't actually use your voice to communicate with others, not only your boundaries, but what you need to thrive. And you never know. Don't limit other people's possibilities and potential for their own growth by not telling them these things either, right? That's not fair. So let's talk about this. Water. What are your emotions telling you? And this right here is why I think it has something to do with a relationship, your understanding of relationships, and potentially either infidelity or sexy thoughts about people that aren't in this relationship. 6 of Cups, which is that cutesy high school sweethearts kind of vibe, somebody you've known forever, or somebody that just makes you feel adventurous and alive in relationships, right? This is something that you're striving for, or maybe this is something that you currently feel like you lack that you want to have. Maybe you might not be in a relationship at all because you have a hard time trusting people. Extremely relatable. But you need to guard yourself. And this is for self, supporting your independence. You are the 5th element here. 9 of Wands is all about having your energy kind of guarded, like you're working on something. It's that taking your vitamins, getting your exercise, not letting anybody break that concentration or change your vibes. This was on top of 10 of Cups, which is that happily ever after family that spans multiple generations and all of that. I feel like you are really protecting that idea because that's something that you really want for yourself. Whether that is something that your heart will allow and your mind will allow are completely different factors. You have to be willing to do the work daily to make something like that happen. And you have to protect it. And you have to fucking show up every damn day, okay? And understand that we live in a world that is designed to tempt, right? And we live in a world that is very sexually charged, for lack of a better descriptor. So there's going to be temptation. And relationships that last till the end of time go through those moments. And this might be something that you've been telling yourself, like 50% of people cheat on their partner. That is not an excuse. Okay. It's a lack of honesty and balls, I guess, to say what you want in life. And that's not an excuse. And don't let anybody ever make that excuse. And if somebody has broken your trust, or if you've broken somebody's trust and it's feeling like that can't be fixed, you can evaluate how you feel about those feelings, how everybody is approaching this situation, and really decide, do you want to go to couples counseling, or do you want to write up divorce papers? Because you have to decide. You can't linger in this. Like 10 of Swords, you can't stay there. It's dead. That's an old story, old news, old life. It's time to go on to the next thing, right? So you cannot stay in this energy. And if it's an addiction, or if you're dealing with maybe like adult content addiction, there is therapy for that. There are people to talk to. There's whole communities online where people are struggling with that kind of addiction. It's a real thing. Don't let anybody bully you into it not being a real thing. So it just all comes back to like checking in with self. And I really want to see what's on the back of the deck. Knight of Coins. Ooh, that's doing the work. That's putting one foot after the and it's got the Sun, Knight of Cups. Okay, so what this tells me right here is you do see that you can take the different path. You do see that the universe is here for you. And these being under that, I've got chills like all over right now. These cards coming out underneath the placement for opening the door for your spirit team, you you got to trust in yourself. Listen to your intuition. Listen to how you feel about these things. I know listening to feelings is like, sometimes there's no words, but you need to honor that, and you need to also have a little bit of sense of romance still. Maybe this relationship that you're currently in or thinking on, or your fears of this. Knight of Cups is that the romancer of the deck, and always showing up to make big gestures of love. And so I think that you need to have a little bit of hope and romance and allow your heart to just feel it. And I can see that you're really working towards it. You're working towards that sunshine feeling, that feeling of just being nurtured by your surroundings. And it's okay to take that in small doses. Remember, some of us get burned by the sun. So take it in small doses, but you can have that happily ever after. Don't tell yourself you can't, whether it's addiction or otherwise, or just anxiety about relationships in general. We're going to get to this one last because it is the unapologetic act of self-love. And I already know what this card is, and just I'm going to cry. I'm going to cry. All right. So we'll get to that in a minute, but these are your healing cards. Grounding, how to ground the energy for maximum growth. Queen of Pentacles. You're worth it. Okay. And you can manifest anything you want. So, especially for material gain, right? Queen of Pentacles, that's top bitch in the house. You know exactly what it is that you want for yourself. Do not allow anybody else to convince you that you are worth anything less. And by anyone, I'm talking about yourself too. All right? Do not convince yourself that you are worth anything less, or that you are unable to achieve the things that you set your mind to. It's a lot of little steps that make up the entire journey. Okay? So keep that in mind. Little steps. Baby steps. We're learning new behaviors. 9 of Cups. This is for burning it. Use your energy to act in accordance with your highest self. 9 of Cups is that spiritually connected energy. Maybe it is something that you need to find a support group. I don't know if you are into going to church, if you might be interested in finding a coven. If you have a spiritual team that you hang out with or talk to or anything like that, you need to really allow universe to take this pain. Let it burn it all up. And that is something that you might have to tend to every single day. But I believe in you, and I think you got this, so keep that in mind. Anyway, so let's talk about this. And you might be attracted to pile 3 too. If you were, there might be some good messages there for you too. Okay, we're going to be forgiving it, releasing what is binding your thoughts. Strength. Yeah, okay, so this is what I was talking about. It's you don't have to be strong all the time. You are allowed to cry. You are allowed to release these feelings, these doubts, these anxieties. You don't need to be bound up by it, right? And if it is something like an adult content addiction, it's something that you can overcome. And it doesn't need to ruin your relationships. It is something that you have every ability to get away from. You just have to make sure that you surround yourself with people who are supportive of what you want for yourself. And it's kind of simple, I think, because I myself am not into that kind of content. I know plenty of people are, no shame, do your thing. But that's never been my cup of tea. And I am okay with telling people that, and people respect that. And I've never had people force that on me. So it's really about using your voice to demand what it is that you are okay with for yourself and what it is that you're not, having those boundaries, paying into yourself. You just, yeah, you got this. Okay, so group 4. The last card is releasing it, parting ways with energies, leaving you feeling abandoned and used. 8 of Swords. Well, that's the one that basically is like the girl that's tied up on the train tracks. I know we have a theme going on. Tied up on the train tracks, and there's swords everywhere, and it's a situation that they'd be able to get out of if they thought about it a different way. In this card, I see somebody who maybe shouldn't have been there and got kicked out of the hotel room. Again, we're going with those infidelity vibes. But I'm just thinking that it is, if that's what happened, it's not okay that that happened. Gonna reiterate that. Honesty is sexy. Yeah, baby. But it's something that happened. And it's in the past now. You can't go back and fix it. You can only learn from it. And what are the things that we learned from it? How do we keep ourselves from being bound in this situation for the rest of our lives by making this the story we tell ourselves? Don't let this be the story you tell yourself, all right? You are worth way more than this and this. And if the devil's playing in this, I mean, usually he's my homeboy, but like, come on, man. Harm none, do as you will, right? All right, so the final card that I'm like, okay. Cry, let it out. Otherwise, this feeling can linger longer than needed. Note to self. It kind of goes without explaining. Like, you need that cleanse. You need to just let it go. You need to stop telling yourself these stories. They're not truths. They're just observations. So, and they're valid observations, right? But they're not like 100% true all the time. So, bitch, remember who the hell you are. All right, you were the Queen of Pentacles. You deserve everything that you want for yourself in this life. Next life too. Anyway, I will see you guys next time. Don't forget, we have a bunch more of the embracing elements here on the channel throughout the week. And if this reading resonated with you, leave a comment. Let me know. I guess this is kind of personal, so I can understand if you don't want to leave a comment. But I just hope that you guys are able to speak your truth. I hope that whoever it is that has caused the pain in this, or thinks that they deserve the pain in this, can speak their truth and things can get worked out. All right, that's what I got for you, group 4. We'll see you next time. Bye.